Chill.
Hey everybody, welcome to VFX and Chill, our second week into season 5 on our brand new YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/@VFX and Chill, which is where our main chat is. If you're watching this on another screen, another channel somewhere, what the hell's wrong with you? Get over here to youtube.com/@VFX and Chill, or watch wherever you want. The thing is, we'll see your chat. You just won't see anyone else's response. Hilarious and very insightful comments. Speaking of hilarious and very insightful, I've got two people who fit at least one of those each. With me here, my good friend Daniel Hashi Hashimoto and Michael Solapsky. How are you guys?
Doing well, Seth. How about yourself?
I'm good. Good.
Excellent.
Streaming again.
Nick Smith wants to know, is the new intro groove a Worley original? Or is it Harley Esquire?
Thank you for asking. It is it's a... just recorded it right before the show. It was messy as hell, and I apologize for any ear damage that we did to anybody. Guys,
I do appreciate that. Yeah, minutes before the show, you can be like, "Oh man, we need a different bit of music. I'll compose something real quick."
And I can crank out something. So
Judah VFX says hi.
Oh, hi, Judah VFX.
Hi, Judah.
To catch everybody up real quick, last week we did some tornadoes. We tried to. Not our first time. We've done them a lot. We tried to do them a lot. So as we said last week on the show, like tornadoes kind of are our white whale. They seem like something we should know how to do and be able to do really well, but neither of us, Hosh, have been able to pull them off in a way that, we feel like better VFX artists have done. And
yeah, we need that it's the, CG T-Rex in Jurassic Park moment where we're like,
CG
no,
Rex.
it can definitely it can do this. Not unlike that original CG test that ended up in the trailer for Twister. That's so cool.
Someone said I look like Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron. I need to look this up because for a long time I was just Jimmy Neutron. Did I move to another Jimmy Neutron character? And
I don't know who Carl Weezer is.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel?
Well, I feel a little bit like this guy.
That's so funny.
Well,
if you don't die a Jimmy, you
you live long enough to see yourself become a Weezer.
Seth, are you able to pull in a clip to play with some sound? I found something that I think would set our vibes delightfully.
I mean, if it's coming from you, I can do it. Yeah. Or are you sharing
in our footage folder?
Okay. 1 second.
For this week. So if you didn't know, because Wizard of Oz is very famous, they have archived all of the all sorts of footage from it, and including the full takes of the practical tornadoes. And they are narrated on the DVD by Angela Lansbury.
Oh,
and
as everything should be.
I think that we should listen to that just to get us into this episode.
All right. It is 3 minutes long. I was going to play it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to play it in QuickTime, and then that'll be better. Give me just a second.
Cool. We need the sound
while he's figuring that out, Frigby, I am not in a bunker. I am just in a very dark room.
He's in the
because if I'm
where
doing,
I go when there are bombs.
If I'm doing critical color work, I like to not have influence from other light while I'm working. I do have other lights on, as you can see, for the stream, but otherwise I like to work in a darker room so that my eyes don't get contaminated. All right, let's go.
All right, let's go, Angela.
This long shot shows the tornado as it moves.
Sorry, real quick. Can we just have Angela Lansbury always, whenever we play a clip, have her do descriptive audio of it?
Absolutely.
Because that just fit the show so perfectly.
This long shot shows the tornado as it moves across the Kansas prairie. Here are 2 takes of the funnel cloud as it moves in for its close-up. This extraordinary take starts with the tornado in repose.
And now, VFX and Chill presents Seth Byron Worley.
Oh my God.
Seth Byron Worley.
Today we salute you, Mr. Camcorder-toting king of the cul-de-sac.
Mr. Cul-de-sac writer-director.
While other
my
kids were
God.
playing tag, you were bossing around siblings to create epic blockbusters with daring stunts and pyrotechnics.
Please never tell this.
Like Spielberg or Zemeckis, your boundless imagination could only be brought to life through state-of-the-art drawings and every special effect your allowance could afford.
Skill models are really expensive.
That didn't stop you from spending the next decade making increasingly competent action-adventure comedies. Luckily, someone else spent that same decade inventing the internet so nerds could see them.
Dozens and dozens of film nerds.
When one of those geeks hired you to make an ad, in true Seth fashion, you over-delivered with an award-winning short set in that same cul-de-sac. And guess what? Hollywood noticed. Not the cul-de-sac thing, but the award-winning viral filmmaker part.
You're the Tom Hanks of Steven Spielberg.
Millions flocked to the small screen for your signature brand of action, adventure, and drawings. Oh, with the drawings brought to life. The effortless blending of childhood innocence with a visceral struggle and horror of the human experience.
In a totally family-friendly way.
Even though Big Hollywood was being a real for like 4 years, you never slowed down. You wrote, directed, and cut a whole feature film with the support of a stellar cast and crew. Talented VFX artists and friends and family who never doubted you.
Never a shred.
Now your film's set to premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival, nearly 30 years to the day from this arbitrary timestamp, proving that dreams really do come true, especially when you've practiced that dream for 30 years and were naturally talented to begin with. So here's to you, Seth Byron Worley, when you're out there on that red carpet or whatever color they use in Canada. Remember, you've got this. In fact, you always have.
What the hell? Oh my God. That was the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my damn life. I have to leave now. Goodbye, everybody. I'm dead.
That's
Bye.
our show, everyone.
Bye. Oh,
I didn't think we made a very big deal about it last week.
oh, buddy. That was the biggest deal you could have possibly made. And that's going to play on a loop on my tombstone. No matter what I am able to accomplish going forward, that specific TIFF-centric video is going to be what plays on my tombstone projected. Good God, man. That's so sweet. Thank you, buddy. And everyone, you got to see all of... Is this why you asked about the home video site?
Maybe.
Brilliant. Brilliant move, too. I love that you had access to my home videos. Oh, man.
It was amazing. What was funny is
hang on,
that when you mentioned what it was, it auto-filled the login for it. So I was like, oh, I've apparently been stalking Seth since.
For context, for Christmas a couple of years ago, I made a website for my family that was a database and library of all of my family's home, my growing up immediate family's home movies. But it also included old film that had been transferred to tape of my dad's childhood on there as well. And it's all time stamped and it's cataloged and tagged by subject and category and person and event. And it's the most Worley type, Dennis Worley kind of adventure, endeavor you could ever see. And Hashi apparently had access to it and made this incredibly wonderful thing. That was wonderful. Hang on, did Arlie just text me? I think Arlie, my wife, watched that. I didn't know she was watching the show.
And we have Carla Worley in the chat as well. Did you see that?
Did you tell everybody this was happening?
No.
Some of us knew.
I told Michael and I did tell Arlie.
Oh my God. So, okay, then Arlie then told my family then too. You guys. Oh, hey Mom. We need a mom drop for the show.
Apparently now. Nick wants to know how you keep a straight face when you're teeing up one of the videos. Hashi.
Oh, Hashi's
my God.
savage. Hashi could, yes. Answer the question because I want to know too.
No, well, to be honest, I had to inoculate myself against that one, against this one. It was rough.
And I almost talked over it too. Good God. I was about to Worley my own tribute video.
Oh, and yes, to those who are asking, Hashi made that. Yes, Hashi made that. As we all know, from the fake drawn me tutorial, Hashi can sing and sing very well.
Oh.
If you want to see that tutorial that opens with an amazing music video, the link is in the chat.
Then when I heard naturally talented to begin with, I was like, oh, there he is. There's my boy. By the way, it would be really weird if I had made that. And then and feigned
and then set
surprise.
up a pretense.
Oh man. And you went into it so well with the tornado and the tornado footage of the thing, which, oh man. By the way, I believe that tornado was actually meant to be The Mask. That was me doing The Mask sequel or something.
Yes, it did turn into The Mask after that.
So today we're doing Jim Carrey's The Mask on VFX and Chill. Not really. We're going to try and beat tornadoes. But for real, thank you. That was very sweet, buddy. And I'm touched. And I love you guys. And I love the show. And I love... That's it. That's everything. Moving on. Let's learn some stuff.
Oh my gosh. Let's learn some stuff. Okay, yeah. So tornadoes, we were trying to get into last week, and I feel like we made some decent progress. We came up with some of our most tornado-y tornadoes that we've created before, and but I don't know if any of them like really were the tornado. None of them had that really cool.
They were tornado dozens. They weren't tornadoes. Tornadoes.
Tornadoes.
I messed it up.
Wait, let's see. Oh, I have not reshared my screen. So here's a little old thing. It's fine. So we've been busy at work trying a bunch of different things. I don't remember.
What's the name of the one that worked
more than the others?
The one we really liked. In fact, I know you saved some offhand ones that were funny or cool that looked like something. The one that I remember, I believe, is this one. What's this called?
A down tube.
I mean, we always love a good down tube.
Really
Consensual Star Wars.
That would be a good Tentacles Complete, actually.
We did it.
Let me see real quick. I believe the one that we loved was Down Tube. Yeah, Down Tube 04.
Downtown Abbey.
Tuned down for what?
Damn it, Michael!
And
incredible. We're off to a good start.
We are.
So
how are you doing this?
So this was using a slightly different function than we had ended up using on the show last week. It all starts with a let's see if I can simplify the scene. So if I turn off other stuff, I just have this torus that is emitting some, there's the wind. I don't think I ended up using that wind.
No, the wind doesn't get used on the tornado. I did play with this one.
Oh, nice. So it's just a torus emitting smoke that barely does anything. And then I have this helix here, and this helix drives a field force, which is right here. But instead of what we were doing on the show, where we were, I think, no, this is what we did on the show. We used the helix as a source to...
We did do that.
Help direct this wind into this little spirally tube.
When Hashi cuts the special edition of this episode, then you'll quickly cut back to how you did that probably, and then come back to now, right? I'm making the promise. And you can cut this promise out.
No, see, that's the best thing about it. If you happen to watch our episode 1 of season 5, it's actually now half the time, and we get to the point pretty well.
It's magic
in there, so it's magic. So yeah, you can rewatch these episodes.
Digital magic.
Oh my gosh, I had forgotten about Jorge. I can't believe I forgot.
Yeah, there's some stuff that didn't happen last week that was supposed to, and I will see to it.
Excellent. So I think the main thing that we ended up doing here to get this result was we had to go to our Pyro output, and then we had to go to the...
All right, everybody, I'm turning it off
scene
now.
Settings. Let's see, what was it? And we had to add in some velocity dampening here. And what we did is we're doing some velocity dampening, but not, or damping, not dampening, but not uniformly. We're just doing it to X and Y. And you'll see if I turn those back to 0, now when this thing spins, the smoke can spin way off to the side and get dissipated too quickly. But if we say to dampen any forward or sideways movement of the smoke, it's sort of held to the center to kind of just move upward, but preserve some of the spinniness. And that was a little bit closer. You'll notice that this is kind of a low res situation. I'm displaying this probably at, I guess that's the voxel size of 5.
But if I'm correct, I remember we turned the voxel size down, and it actually looked better weirdly with the larger voxel size than we would normally expect.
It's a weird dance you can do between the voxel size and also, in theory, once you cache this, you can also up-res the your simulation, which I believe, added a link for last week when we were talking about it. But it may have just been for the sake of speed. We were just trying to go for a low, or rather for a larger voxel size to see if we were getting the perceived motion that we wanted out of this.
I will say the ability to up-res an already cached sim is fantastic, because anytime you change the voxel size, the whole simulation changes. The shape of everything changes because the calculations are different. So if you get the motion you like at a lower resolution, upping the resolution is not going to make it better, because then you're going to get different shapes. So being able to cache it and then up-res it after is just fantastic.
Precisely.
Really quick, before we get too far, the default cube is asking how they get into Maxon Studio. If you've installed Universe and the other Red Giant tools and installed Maxon Studio using the Maxon app, in After Effects, just go to Window, and Maxon Studio is right there, or what is it, Control-Alt spacebar?
Yeah, you can go up here to Window, Maxon Studio, and it'll pop up right here, this panel.
And I'd like to point out that there are 100 new capsules just dropped in Maxon Studio a couple days ago. So there's a bunch more motion graphics, some effects, a bunch of stuff there. And of course, a couple new ones from our VFX and Chill crew as well are in there.
Up there, click on VFX and Chill, and there it is. Wet floor. Look at this wet floor.
The wet floor one's
Check
fun.
it out. Now let me see. Is this one got fixed, right?
Let's not do this online.
Yeah.
Hashi and I have pushed this thing to its limit, and the Maxon Studio team has been incredible at keeping up with us. This is a really fun product. We're very excited to get to mess around with. But yeah, this wet floor one is nuts.
It looks really good. And the fact that you can just do whatever you want with it because it's Maxon Studio is great.
Yeah.
That is fun.
So
we'll play around with that a little bit later.
tornadoes.
So anyway, this was the closest I think that we ever got to a tornado that's purely being generated from the bottom, and we have forces turning it into kind of a helix.
It's awesome.
That moves upward. I had just learned from Darren Frankowitz, who I kept on. Darren is in Germany, and I'm over here in Canada, and we're always trying to try to figure out how to get info back and forth to each other. But I heard some other potential suggestions for how to get things working, which is what I was doing just before the show, where there's another way that I can use a
so
field
that
force
right
to
there is
draw
an
in.
That's like an F3, F4, EF3, EF4, EF5, looking tornado. What I love is you managed in the other one to get that low grade, tall, skinny tornado look started and going, which is what I think we've been trying to get for a long time. And then here you've got this really good big ass looking tornado happening.
Turn off the actual little field lines. What's kind of cool about this, I was having trouble figuring out how to box in the tornado without actually building a hollow cage around it. And the hollow cage solution ended up being one of the things that looked pretty decent last week. But I really wanted a force that would sort of be drawing in the actual I don't have my words anymore. Basically, a way to kind of draw all the smoke toward the center. My only complication right now is if you compress the smoke too much toward the center. Okay, so here's no pull toward this little central column, or negative even. And then if I start to turn it up, here's at 25%, 85%, 150, and then starting around like 200, now you can sort of see that it's all trying to pull smoke toward this central spline and move along it, kind of like magnet attraction. The only thing is that, smoke is such a fluid thing that if you try forcing it too close to one point like this, it kind of disappears.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's neat. I feel like somewhere there's a neat balance that I could do with this. And the main thing that Darren pointed out that helped me figure this out was that when you use a spline within a field force, you can go to the object itself and decide whether or not it is being used as an along vector. So if it's an along vector, here's what it does. It tries to move. Now the smoke is going to try to move directly along that line. That's what we were doing with that helix. But if you do, instead of along, you do radius, you can use vectors that point inward toward that spline rather than along it. And so it's kind of neat. It almost gets me what I was hoping for.
It looks, this version looks a lot like, like when you look out the window and you see like leaves, like a leaf tornado, like it feels like that wispy, like smaller forming tornado magic-y kind of thing.
Digital magic.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And
precisely.
But it also looks freaking cool at the same time.
It does look really cool.
So I do want to remind folks that we are streaming on multiple channels. The replay of this will live on the VFX and Chill YouTube channel, but we're also streaming on the Action Movie Kids YouTube channel, Red Giant, Maxon Training Team, a bunch of places. But if the majority of the chat is happening on the VFX and Chill YouTube channel, and when you're there, while you're there, don't forget to click the like button. Wherever you're watching this on, don't forget to hit that like button. Maybe share it with a couple of friends who are like Darby Jacinto, tornado experts, or like Jude, or like Jude of VFX, who are working on tornadoes as you watch this.
I love that response. Also, want to remind everybody that in case you think you're weirded out by something, our drops this year have moved to an automated system. So they are triggered by random keywords and phrases that we have filled a library with.
Speaking of random keywords and phrases, we have a Jamie in the chat who wants to say
Jamie!
hi.
Jamie!
Well, it's not doing it.
Jamie! There it is.
There it is.
Wow, that was almost as hard as triggering the Justin Leduc drop.
Goodness.
Yep.
Well, there it goes. I'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can see that this had some promising kind of cool looking things as well.
What?
Wow.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to turn it down.
Amazing. Well, I feel like we had a lot of fun playing with these simulations, and some of them look very, very cool. But it may be good to try to get to, I don't know, some other part of...
Yes. Can I suggest something, or did you have something you were going into?
Oh, I would love a suggestion. I'm spitballing.
All right. I have a suggestion, but I'm going to tell you right after this. We have to take a break. We'll be right back after this. All right, that was really important, and I'm glad we saw it. Hashi, here's what I'd like to try and do.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what I want to make.
We need props. It's going to be good.
If you're going to be showing something on the screen, you should probably make it so your picture is a little bit bigger than this tiny little square or rectangle that it's currently in. There we go.
I would like to make a suck zone if we possibly can. As I leaned in and did this, I could see the contextless cut that you're going to make of me leaning in and saying this, and then you cut to previously on VFX and Chill. All right, so I want to make, as said before, a suck zone. What is a suck zone? I'm going to turn that off in a second. It is, because we're going to say it a lot. It's the point, I wish I had the clip ready, but it's the point at which the twister sucks you up. And I have ideas on how we could do that. I'm sure we all do, but I want to feel like I'm contributing something. So, Hashi, let's go to a tornado that you feel confident, like one of the tornado builds that you feel, good about. Maybe that tube down one, just because it's so cylindrical.
That sounds good. Yeah, let's go with that. It's happy. I'll save a version of this. That's for the show. Show file.
And then can we bring something in the twister truck from our intro last year?
We have a twister truck. Do I have that? Let's see. What
it might be in intro assets in season 4.
Oh yes. So many things that we're testing. Okay, I think that I saved a copy in here.
Since Warner Brothers / Max don't seem all that concerned about their animated intellectual property, Nick Smith's or Brian the White's suggestion about putting the Tasmanian Devil at the top of the tornadoes, not a bad one.
Does he ride his tornadoes, or is he the tornado? I think he creates the tornado.
Either way, they would like to have the Tasmanian Devil be involved, and since Warner Brothers / HBO Max doesn't seem to care about their animated
pretty fast and loose about things like that.
Yeah, pretty fast and loose. Riders on the Storm was based on Tasmanian Devil. Now that I'm thinking about it, Darren, you make your own suck zone drop, please. No, you're right. We should make a suck zone drop. No, just I'm seeing his follow-up comments.
Goodness.
Darby, fireworks are a great idea. That's one we've not. Yes, we're not prepared at all to try that on the show, so it's perfect. All right, Michael, hold us accountable. We're going to need to leave some time at the end of the show for fireworks if we spend too much time on a suck zone. So,
no problem.
The first thing that I couldn't resist doing, and I could be getting ahead of you, was that I just threw the truck in here, and I know that these are all, in theory, sort of similar simulation nodes. What if I just tell it to be a rigid body and then press play?
Smart one.
I'll see what happens. Wait.
Okay.
Well, that worked.
I mean, I don't know if it's show ready, but its show is good.
Wow. Well, I mean, interesting.
It's on the ones and twos over here.
Momentum off of that. Wow. Okay. So
here's what I think.
Too. Oh wait,
let's do a cylinder. Why don't? Well, I kind of want it. Do we want it to be operating from that same helix force, or do we want to make another field force? We can use the same helix, but either way, I'm thinking we need to use a field. What's the right term for it? Like a shape, like a cylinder as the field.
Okay.
Michael, what's the term?
So how about?
Well, here's the thing. You don't need to use field forces at all. You can use regular forces of any kind. Like all the forces under the simulation menu are at your disposal. Field forces are excellent in that they give you the most art direction, but they're also a little more complicated than some of the basic ones that are set up. Like I think some regular turbulence and some kind of spin wouldn't hurt in this case. But also keep in mind that you can adjust the mass of things. So if you think the
Did I lose you guys?
is asking,
I lost you guys for a second.
File after? Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Are we still,
everybody let me know if the stream is still going.
Okay, it still is, but I don't know if we're caught up enough to see if it
I think that was
turned off. Yeah, it feels like it's continuing.
I'm gonna hopefully everyone tell us if the show is still going.
Yeah, let us know if we're still if you could hear.
It's back now.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you, IT.
Cool.
If we can,
it was there all along. All right, I'm just quickly
Did
hitting
you
the
turn off?
simulation
Sorry,
button.
did you have? Oh, you're caching. Smart. So have you gone into the your oh my god, rigid dynamic like setting on the truck and exclude the field force from it?
I will go do that next once this thing is cached. So right now, I'm caching it just so this will be a more fast experience for us today. But in theory, then I can uncache it at the end and run it again so the truck can be interacting with the smoke and stuff like that.
Smart.
But for right now, I just want to play with just the physics of it.
Because here's what I'm getting at. I want to be able to move that tornado away from the truck and have nothing happen to the truck until a tornado gets a certain distance from the truck, at which point it enters the suck zone and starts getting sucked up. Right now, because of the field force, it's if you put that truck really far away, it's still going to get wrapped up in the field force because there's no zone of suctrist.
So if we go into the forces section of the rigid body tag, there's a whole area where you can choose to include or exclude certain forces. And I'm going to exclude this field force and press play. Look at that. Now it just falls to the ground right there. Junk. So now it's just doing its own thing. Now, I think that I have this cached simulation. Can I move it? Oh, I guess it's not a Pyro volume that I'm using this VDB sequence for.
Oh, so you can't move it. So you might not. I mean, we can just kind of save and wait and just move the truck for now. So
right.
let's add like a
little bit more ground,
like a wind force or something.
Okay. Ooh, let's see. There was one in here. What happens? What was that one doing? If I turn that on, whoa. Okay, that was a hefty wind.
It's working.
Okay, so let's turn this back down. Let's see if 500.
I need to make it in its working drop because I have one. We have a shortcut in our house. If I say, "It's working," from ET, and
okay, this wind did just happen to be below the floor, pointing up because I remember it was just originally to move our smoke.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of doing a nice little anti-gravity.
Renato Fuentes
thing to begin with
says the tornado is not made from above. Interesting question. So the wind does come from above as it reaches down, generally speaking, but the debris and dust that makes the tornado actually visible is coming up from the ground as the tornado sucks it up. So visually, sometimes you'll see a cloud
clouds
coming down. You'll see the cloud at the top coming down into a funnel shape, but sometimes you won't. In some tornadoes, you really barely see anything except for a little nub into the top, and then you really notice it only when the suck zone hits the bottom. So when
the suck zone hits the bottom, you say. Okay. Here's a question though. I heard once, and I don't know where I heard it. I might have been dreaming it. The air is moving up like it's like you have air up here and air down here, and it's moving at this rate, and it's spinning and then turning on its side, essentially? Like, is that what's happening, or am I crazy?
It's
true, Frigby. This channel is about scientific accuracy. Let's get back to what we do know.
Accuracy.
Which we can now add making tornadoes to the list.
Yes. So we do seem to know that we have this truck here. Maybe, okay, this could be kind of fun. How about if we just create a fun little cube here. Let's slide this over here, and let's see.
What's this for? Oh, you're going to roll the truck?
I'm going to roll the truck.
I'm going to roll it.
All right, so let's just go ahead and say...
it might be easier if the wheels worked, but we don't have time to build a car rig on this episode.
I know that there's one right in the asset browser, but with the physics we wanted to do this, we wanted just to be the simplest object possible.
There's always something in the there's always money in the asset browser.
There's always money in that. I need to know, is there money in the asset browser? Always.
All right, I can make the drop.
Okay,
for there's always I'm adding this to
an Easter. By the way, So we got to get on that engineering. Let's see. Let's make this little thing. And on this cube, we'll turn it into a collider with no friction. And we'll tell the truck, let's see, what it'll do. Oops. Let's go back to the first frame. Okay, so let's tell this truck that it needs its own initial what am I trying to say here? Why does it look like the wheels are moving? This isn't a truck rig that works, right?
I know, right? It looks like they're moving.
It was like I don't think we set it up.
All right, so it's moving at just like a bullet speed. Incredible. Great.
Incredible speed.
Bullet dynamic speed.
Wait, can't I? Oh, I might be thinking of bullet physics. Can you custom initial velocity?
Doesn't that just throw it? Well, that's what we need. Smart. All right, it went backward.
Oopsie. Okay, so we want it to go -5.
Okay, have you checked the friction on the floor or the ramp?
I did. The ramp has 0 friction, though maybe.
I always forget what controls are in particular and what controls are in cinema, because I'm thinking slide, but that's in particular.
Bouncing accuracy, mass, custom density, excluding the field force. It has. Oh, maybe I don't remember what the threshold is at. Is this really not it's really just getting dampened down by something. Why doesn't it want override the damping? Maybe the damping is being controlled by our. I'm so happy I realized that. When we were in our Pyro settings earlier, in the Pyro scene, we went to the velocity and had velocity dampening. But apparently that applies to other things as well, because as soon as I went back to my object here, the truck, and said override the global dampening, now look at that. Boom.
Whoa, I didn't know that was that.
So that's odd that's uniform.
It feels like it's not supposed to be. All right.
I don't think it's supposed to be either. Here, this is
so we want it to get sucked up when it enters the suck zone. And we want the suck zone to be a little bit outside the thing. So make me my tube, Hash. Make me my tube.
So I have the wind right here. I'm going to click on its fields thing right here. And I'm going to say, let's create a cylinder field. All right. So I'm going to say the cylinder field should be a up and down Z situation. Let's make it, as you all hopefully know from watching the show, this is a field represented. This is a cylindrical field where everything inside this smaller cylinder is at 100%. And between there and this outer barrier, this is 0%. So outside, nothing happens. As soon as you move into it, you get the gradient from one value to another as you get toward the center. All right? So the height of this thing should be kind of like this. That radius seems maybe a little wide. Let's turn it down. So it's more like that. And now what should happen, if I just play, is nothing will happen to the truck until it enters the suck zone, and then it's now affected by the wind, right when it's within this thing.
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
So what if we use the Helix? I think we make its own. Should it be a separate field force that we use with the Helix just for the truck, or like a suck zone field force? We can reference the same Helix, but just its own field force.
That's a good point. So we'll create a new field force. Simulate forces field force.
Hey, Nick had a good question. Nick Salvetta, is that a linear fall off? Can we pick?
Oh, you can absolutely customize this as much as you want. If you go to the cylinder field property here, you can go to remapping, and you can see that what it does is this is the inside of the cylinder is all the way at 100, and this is at 0. You can offset or multiply or change the contour to more like a curve fall off if you want. So it really sort of gently curve up into the full value of that.
Yeah, look at that.
Pretty cool.
So we want it
Okay,
to go
so
up
yes.
and to go around the tornado now. Oh, I'm sorry, you were answering Nick's question. Was that it?
I think that's it.
Okay.
So you said to add a field force, and since it's here, we could reference this same helix and just drag that into our, not into the fields, but into the object.
But in the fields, why don't
yes.
you drag that cylinder from the wind?
Oh, look at that.
Why don't
While
you
we're
drag
here,
that
that's
cylinder
perfect.
from the wind? When Hashi's
So
editing the
this is-
special editions, by the way, he'll hear me sing random things and then won't know until I clarify, like years later, what I was singing. And he's like, oh, I hear it now. Because I'm not good at it.
I did feel a little bad. I was like, oh, that's
Hamilton.
Oh, from Hamilton, like the famous
When you
line
yelled,
from Hamilton.
just you wait,
your
atonally.
inartful words just plotted out in no way that made me. Anyway. All right.
So use the same cylinder. Just drag it into the field. Yeah, and see if
Exactly. So for the learning moment of this all, the field force under the object tab is made up of a handful of different fields and shapes or vectors right here. But then you can also have a field over here that says what area of the whole project is getting affected by the field force you just established. So Seth said to just drag in the cylindrical field that we already had for the area that it'll affect. And under the object section, we can add in the helix right here. And the velocity type right here is to add a little bit of velocity along the helix right here. And I know along because if I select the helix here, it'll say what distance mode, it says along. And we might end up playing with this. Let's see. So this is at 5 to velocity. Not very much. What happens if I turn that up? Ooh.
threw it out.
Here comes the truck. And
It's not really.
okay. That is trying to move it around. Let me see if there is some kind of angular dampening.
I do like
on
that it's
the truck.
throwing it once it gets up there. It feels like it's because it's hitting the top of that cylinder, but it does feel like, a tornado that's just given up on something and throwing it at Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton.
No. Okay. I'm going to my rigid body tag again. I'm overriding the dampening. I'm going to the angular dampening is turned up to 10%. I'm going to try turning that down to like 2%.
And what will that
And what I'm thinking is that it's trying to keep itself from rotating off its axis, but maybe not. Because it's staying so looking forward to me.
Well, I
which
feel like
is
how
curious a
wide
bit.
is the? Like I feel like you want to be able to have half the thing be in the suck.
Oh,
you want in the suck zone and half of it out. Like so, you want that dampening area, that fall off area to be smaller, probably.
Okay, so let's let the center be. Let's see. Can you adjust the height of the interior cylinder, or is it sort of the whole thing?
Make the whole thing big, and then make the fall off area small. Like, no, make it big to where there's almost no fall off, and then now make the fall off, the whole thing smaller.
Okay.
Did that do what you wanted?
So that's there.
Maybe
I
not.
think. I just want to make sure that this cylinder is
Oh, yeah, maybe it
tall enough. Okay, so
Okay, something.
hey, this is kind of cool. Chunk.
All right, so I
I'm gonna make
think
that
what
slightly
you
bigger.
want.
This is it's so fun to run with.
It is. Turbulence
To do stuff like
could
this.
cause it to tumble more, but I also feel like there's.
Just cause. Let me see. could put this in a cloner, but instead I'm going to... This is very silly. You should do this with a cloner. But...
I know what you're doing, and I love it.
Who's got money now? Carrie, always.
Carrie always.
It's always Carrie. There should have been a show.
It's always Carrie.
Oh, man. This,
Okay, there's something going on with like a dampening or some kind of preservation of... Oh, you know what? Why don't you add just add some craziness. Let's add some either turbulence or like a spin.
Oh, yeah, there's no turbulence in here and there's no spin. That's a good point. One thing I was curious about on this secondary field force is that I'm using the add to velocity option.
Yeah.
But you could also use something like change direction.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit curious what that will do.
Oh!
Okay, not a lot.
You just increase it.
But
Or decrease something.
let's see. You know what? I'm going to stick with add to velocity, and I'm going to turn up my turbulence a little bit just to try to get some more interesting things happening in the model. Okay, there we go.
It's not curving anymore.
Oh,
Okay, we absolutely need some...
That one's going up.
All right.
Yeah, we're just trying to get them to angle.
Field force.
Any idea, Michael, why they're not?
It needs it. You were right earlier, Seth. It needs a radial field in here too.
Oh, really?
I bet
But
so.
then they're all going to go one direction. I wish I knew a One Direction song. I would sing it.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
That's bad.
Just spread them all out like that. Didn't like that. I didn't. Okay, I'm actually curious. What is the turbulence getting us? Okay, the radial field, I don't like what it did. I'm just going to get rid of it. It's silly to pile too many things on top of each other. One thing I could look at is the helix's shape. The other thing I actually have an idea about is I wonder if I just added a force and a tractor object and put it right there.
3 right here.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you know what? I should be
Okay.
running some music whenever we do these simulations.
Ooh.
I have questions.
Okay.
Yes.
How many of these things you've put in here are set to be accelerations, and how many of them are set to be forces 1? And
Good question.
thank you.
Oh, yeah. I bet the wind is set to be a force.
How about an
Instead
aerodynamic
of-
force?
An aerodynamic. Ooh.
Will that still affect the rigid body? I guess it will.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember which ones affect rigid bodies and which ones.
Well,
Aerodynamics
if I go
doesn't
to
look like it
bodies,
does.
then I've got to go to their mass. No, their
Yeah, you go to mass
What
and you
is it?
change it to mass instead of density.
dynamics, collision.
I go to the mass right there, you change it to custom mass. Is that it? I was very
Let's see.
confident.
So now they have a custom mass, but they also need a little bit of lift, right?
Yes. Potentially a
bit of
lot.
lift.
And drag.
Most of these
And let's see. And now that wind is an actual aerodynamic force, it could be probably
Way higher.
larger
Way,
than
way,
100.
way.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
Still not solving the rotational issue.
Okay, so let's add some turbulence. That's just going to be to the
I'm
speed.
coming for
Whoa.
you, Mark. It's like,
Okay, I'm a little curious if something weird is happening here. What if I just want to park these somewhere else for the moment? I'm going to
Fridley
park them
says
over
something
here.
to do with follow position versus follow rotation. Is that, or is that the old thing?
That is existing
Follow
in
position
here.
and follow rotation are existing in both the old and new, but he shouldn't have any of it on for this, so it shouldn't be affecting anything.
Okay.
So I don't know if my custom initial angular velocity.
Well, but that's initial angular velocity.
Yeah,
It's also my favorite
okay,
Charlie
so what I
Sheen
find-
movie.
angular velocity. Okay, what I'm curious about is why. No, I can't use something with shape, right? We use a capsule. If I had a
Big ol'
capsule in
pill.
here, simulation, rigid body, is going to have dampening on it initially if I don't do anything, right?
Yeah.
So what if... Wait, since I've cached my whole
Cast your what?
Pyro setup anyway, couldn't I go to my Pyro scene and just
Surprised that
say,
worked for you, Michael. It made me happy.
don't do any velocity dampening? Let's see. Oh, no, apparently it wasn't that. No, Seth, I know what it is. Dang it.
Override?
No, I bet that if I press Control D and go to my simulation scene, I bet that we messed.
Timescale?
No, we didn't.
No.
I thought we would have messed with the timescale.
We never
Okay.
mess with the timescale.
I want to...
Oh. Is it excluding the
magic.
forces? Is it excluding the forces from the tornado?
Okay, I'm moving everything over here to a brand new project, which means that all of its
Gonna work now.
physics settings are not predetermined. I'm going to go to my dynamics here. I'm going to uncheck the override on the dampening and to see if their natural properties do what they're supposed to do. Yes. Okay, that is what they were supposed to do. So now, what else could I grab from here? I could probably grab the... No, let's just create from scratch, and we'll do it really clearly. Okay, we have these trucks right here. We could probably grab them and move them back and up a bit. I've copied them from a frame where they'd all already grouped together. Okay. Test this, okay? Standard. They're just going to roll sort of over toward the
They
center.
skid too. We're here. Watch
Very
them. Watch
cool.
them stop.
Okay.
Do it again for me. It's very fun to
Yeah.
watch them. Oh, wait! Don't do it again. Let me see. Let me see if this music will work. And
Okay.
we're gonna go with this. Go. Maybe a different angle so we can see him skidding toward camera. Like, here we go. Yeah, go left. There we go. Worth it. All right.
Worth it.
What's next?
Excellent. Okay, so we've got our fleet of twister trucks, and now we're going to recreate what we were doing earlier. We're going to go to simulate forces, wind, but we're going to make it be an aerodynamics wind, and we'll point it straight up. Actually, what if it were an acceleration, not a force?
Age-old question.
And then we say field, cylinder field, up, down, and Z direction.
Oh my God, we have
Taller.
Kay Salazzo in the chat.
What? Back from the dead.
Back from the dead.
Kay,
Rest
how are you
in
doing?
peace. Kay Salazzo is here, and we love her. Never leave again.
Speaking of the chat, Michael Palak says they don't know where the VFX and Chill YouTube channel suggestion box is, but they noticed that when doing the special edition edits, they lose the chat and therefore the links that get posted in the chat.
Right.
that's
That is an
good.
unfortunate downside of the special edition, which is we feel is okay. However, there are still ways to find the non-special editions. Cineversity or any of those links you might find in an official Maxon email that would have come out before the episode. Those will still always link. They're basically the old episodes become unlisted. So you just want to see
So,
Justin
what?
Leduc.
Yeah.
Listen, there are other
Yeah, if you
ways
wanna
to
be able see
experience
them,
Justin
we
Leduc.
can-
I don't
we
recommend
also
any
exist.
of
We
them,
can-
but there are there. They are there. Sorry, Hash, what was that?
I was just thinking, like, we can probably make them. We debated this whether we should have them all exist in their entirety and the special editions exist alongside them, or if we wanted to curate them so, like, if you were rewatching stuff, it would be a little bit shorter and more fun to revisit if you wanted.
What do you, the viewers at home, think? Not you, Justin. You don't get to say anything. Oh, that somehow worked.
Oh,
Okay.
very nice. Okay, so the wind. wind has a field. Some are certainly making it into the field of this wind. I don't remember how high it'll need to be.
Okay, Hashi, Alex
before it's doing
has Alex
something.
Random
20.
has the. Sorry, Hashi. It's just when people have obviously good ideas that we should have thought of, we have to interrupt to tell them. He says, "Well,
Please.
this is." I'm going to assume Alex sounds like this. Wow, you could just post an original live stream link in the description of special edition. So, we could
The
just
thing
do
is,
that.
we're all new to YouTube here.
Yeah,
That's
what
a good
is it?
idea.
Now hang on, Hashi. I think I see some rotation occurring
Oh my
as they get
God,
lifted
it's
up.
happening.
Can we move back a little bit so you can actually see? I think we're getting rotation upwards. Oh no, go back to what you had before.
That's impossible.
You had
That's
rotation
impossible,
going.
even for a computer.
How is it happening?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to turn their mass up a bit so they have a bit of resistance at first. Okay. Heavier. Be heavier. Yeah, now they're... Okay, this is fun. All right, now what if on their...
I want to make
right here in their tag, we go to...
We're going to turn
Would
the
you make
wind.
them be a lot heavier
Dynamics.
and the wind a lot stronger as an aerodynamic force? Because then it'll lift the front of the truck first.
What?
and then
That's what we wanted. That's
Yeah.
how to do it.
It's just, I think to make the truck heavier and the truck much heavier, the wind stronger, make sure the wind is an aerodynamic force. I think that will work.
Oh, when we turned on
Just a
aerodynamic force, it
mass.
didn't work. Is it just that it
that's
wasn't turned up high
mass
enough?
100%.
Possibly.
Okay, Hashi, do what
Okay,
Michael says because he's always right.
wind, aerodynamics wind. Okay.
And you may need to make the trucks, make the fall
Give them
off
some
less
lift.
too.
Yes,
So
fall off less.
Make it be less fall off, yeah. So it just goes from no wind to suddenly wind. So 'cause
Mission
what
Impossible
we're
fall
wanting
off.
to do is lift the front of the truck first with a lot of force. So you want that fall off. To be
Michael,
very
welcome to
small.
the goal of the last 30 minutes. Oh, speaking of, real quick, we have to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are well, I was ridiculing Michael for being productive and contributing helpful things. I apologize, Michael. I love you. So,
It's okay. It was just my thought because see while you were doing that, I was playing around with Trapcode Particular and getting tornado-like looks out of it.
are you willing to share?
Oh, sure. Hold but a moment.
We're holding but a moment. Gosh, how are you?
Excellent.
I will start sharing,
The news.
and then there. So here's what I've got so far.
Oh, that's not
It's
you.
like-
Where are you?
Oh,
sure
it
you're
looked
sharing?
like I could see it because it's in there. Yeah, it looks like Michael's sharing now.
Oh, it's not coming across to me. Oh, that's weird. Hang on a second. Let me go to Hashi shared screen. It's just not refreshing it for some reason.
Odd. You want me to stop sharing and try sharing
Yeah,
again?
try again.
All right. Well, let's say no sharing like a toddler. Then I'll share like a older toddler.
Thank you, Mulaney. I love when your Mulaney voice comes out. There you are.
He stole it from me. Okay.
Yes, he did. All right. So, what you doing there in particular?
Well, so I was just like, hey, I wonder if I could get I wasn't going for like a whole tube. I was just wanting kind of that swirl of debris that happens at the bottom of a tornado. And so all I've got is I've got a little, emitter using a 3D model. That's just from this, little model browser option up here. I'm emitting 10,000 particles per second. And I would like to point out, playing in real time. So if anyone said, and this is on a laptop, so if anyone's like, hey, particularly so slow, it's something
That's
else.
impossible.
'Cause Particular's fine. Anyway, I tilted it sideways so that it's a cylinder on the ground. So what did I do in this one? I think I just made the particles a little bit smaller. Made the what did I do? Oh, I just made them add in this one. That's all I did. This one, I just changed the size down a little bit and gave them a little size over life graph to make things prettier. I used one of the new-ish presets that are in here, much nicer than ye old ones. And yes, I know it's the old ones.
No,
the
I
Y
love
is
the
a
new
thorn.
ones.
Anyway, so 50% opacity on the particles, changed the color, didn't touch this tab at all. Simulations tab is where I did all the work. Again, as a trap code particulars designer, as is in Magic Bullet Looks and in Super Comp and in Real Lens Flares, anytime you change something,
Digital magic.
What the?
anytime you change something from its defaults, it goes white or a lighter gray anyway. And you can double click to return it to its defaults. So you can kind of see what I've done here. I enabled fluid dynamics, turned the fluid force to be a vortex tube, shoved the position a little bit, made it a little bit size difference, made the buoyancy a lot more so it pulls the particles up and inside the box, and then vortex strength up some. And that's pretty much all I did. So now that all that together has got me this lovely little swirly, tornadic like vortexy motion, which is great for a little motion graphics piece or something. Just kind of getting that cool little fluidy look. Not dissimilar from how I did the VFX from that one music video where I had trash swirling around a guy. Just had trash sprites instead of glowy particles.
Michael, what if that was your
that's
pitch
a
for
cool video.
everything that you do? Like, Michael, we're looking for some really cool VFX for this music video. And you're like, well, what if there was trash going around a guy? And that was your pitch every time. And they're like,
Hey, I know how to do it.
Particular, it's perfect for trash going around a guy. And also, this cool thing. Speaking of this cool thing, should be the new name of our HGTV show. Hashi, can you get back over?
Goodness.
To the-
Yeah, we can come back over. I don't feel like I'm making the exciting progress that I want to be here, though, which is making me feel upset because I feel like
make the fall off way
should work
smaller.
more.
Well, let me know when you're sharing because I can't see it for some.
Oh, I forgot that I needed to reshare. 1 second there. Okay. I'm starting with some new tags in here. Let's go to the wind properties here.
Okay, where's
and-
your fall off area?
Okay, so right now it's 1. It's just one,
Oh,
all the same.
why is it
spot.
rising right up there? Oh, it's still.
So right now the cylinder field doesn't have any fall off. So if I go to the cylinder field and I go to its, what happened to its,
It's just at no.
no, it doesn't see a,
Yeah.
let's see, clip to shape, remapping. What did I do?
Whoops.
Okay. Default cylinder field, it was supposed to be like this. I don't know what I did that made it
Did we do?
inner radius disappear.
Me either.
So
Did we do Michael's idea though of going aerodynamic, turning the wind way up and turning the mass way up on the truck? I just feel like there's still a period of time where half the truck is in there and it should be lifting up the front.
that's what I think too. And so I'm curious. I wonder if I go to the objects here and I go to their collision object and I say the collision shape right now is auto. What if I tell that to be a specific triangle mesh? And it's using the deformed object. It has some friction. It has some bounciness. Okay, the mass. Let's do a custom mass. Turn that up. That's slowing down for me right now. I think it's because it doesn't like that I'm doing it during. Okay, let's go to the collision event. Actually, what if it were just a box? I just want to see really quickly. Okay, that's a lot of mass. And on their collision, they do have some friction on there. So let's try No friction. Yeah, it's not. The wind doesn't seem to want to lift that. Is this too small? I don't know if.
Maybe so.
Yeah, that's a good question. I will mention that the other day I was playing with a similar principle and had better results though.
Is this
Which
with
was-
the force that I made?
Which is this.
Yeah. Okay, how did we
Okay,
get here?
So
Because I remember.
that's what I'm trying to figure out how we got
Oh,
here.
wait, but they're not... oh, they are. Are they spinning in the air? I can't tell.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
Yes, they are. Once they hit a certain point, they do
Okay.
spin.
Loading. Let me see. I'm going to try reloading the page. I'm going to talk as if
Yeah.
it's just all
IT
working
keeps turning my
seamlessly. But
thing
let's.
on and off for some reason.
Perfect. All right. Simulate a tractor. If I put a tractor up here, like a tractor beam, I can go to this object and I'll tell it to use this cylinder field. And in that case, I actually probably could have the fall off, a bit of fall off. So it has some kind of okay, let's go to the attractor object. Let's turn this up to 5,000. Is that enough? Oh, do I have to say maybe a constant?
Whoa.
Ooh. It's totally that. What is that movie where the car's driving away and someone's using something like the Force or like, magic lasso or something like that, and they're dragging the car back as it's trying to drive
Digital
away?
magic.
Yeah, I don't know.
What movie is that? Someone say in the chat. A car starts to drive off, and then someone. It's like a Spider-Man-ish character, like is able to like lasso it. And so you see the car struggling to drive forward against someone just dragging it back on a little clothesline or whatever.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
Okay. 1,000, 5,000. Okay. What if the attractor is lower in screen? Oh, this cylinder, the middle part isn't tall enough. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so here's a fun like Force,
Yeah, where
Star
you
Wars
get-
Force gag.
You get caught in a little net of magical forces.
Digital magic.
Okay, so what if instead of one attractor, what if it was like a little stack of them? If I make 3 of them like this, then is that enough to pull them up and try to like pass them between the others?
Okay, that's fun.
Okay, so maybe, okay, this is the bottom one. This one should be a little bit stronger than the next one.
So this is 2
So
attractors?
1,500. I'm going to try.
Can you not make the attractors like a tube also, or do they have to be a point?
They're a point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they can be activated by a field, sort of. And so
Can you have it bob it up and down or something?
I think that if I made them more competitive, I could. And maybe if we added some turbulence to this whole scene anyway.
Oh,
it
yeah,
would-
do that.
Yeah, okay, so simulate forces, turbulence,
Simulate dragons.
simulate dragons. They're like, I don't know, guys. I feel like imagine is a stronger term.
Like, well, that's where you're wrong, Rick.
You're wrong.
Look at this. Look what it does originally. They're like, ah.
And now then they just start flying around like a whole new
Yeah,
world.
that's funny. Okay, so the strength, let's start messing with the scale of this turbulence and turning its frequency down. Aerodynamics wind mode. Okay. I didn't use any kind of initial scale for this. So let's tell this turbulence to have this cylinder field also. Okay.
I'm just trying to make your special edition edit even harder by adding music. What? Oh.
Okay, so this is kind of cool. We're getting somewhere. And now what if we also added a simulate forces rotation. Okay, rotation is going to be lay it down like that and say use the cylinder field. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Mode aerodynamics wind. Whoops. Okay, I'm trying to add some spin.
Should you turn up
to
the
this
mass
now.
or something to make it all move a little slower, or how would we go about that?
Good question. Actually, one thing I could check real quick is, okay, how big did I make this scene? Okay, if that's a person, let's go ahead and
Crank it up.
grab. I'm going to grab everything except for this figure, stand in, and then throw them in a quick group and scale. Oh, why is the group centered there? What the heck?
Later, Darren. Thanks for coming.
Thank you all.
It's just Darren right now. Everyone else is still here.
Okay, let's throw that in there. Whoops, sorry. I'm very inefficient right now.
I mean, we're experimenting. We're VFX and chilling.
We are VFXing and chilling.
Equally.
Okay, finally.
same time.
I just want these trucks to be
Maybe it's both.
more similar in scale to this.
Maybe both
Figure.
happening at the same time.
Okay, there we go. So now if I turn my turbulence frequency down a bit, its scale and okay, here are the trucks.
Here's the steeple. Okay. Let's make that spin.
Okay, so
Give me a
now-
spin, baby. Where's our helix?
Yeah, where is the helix? Let's go
Where is the
to.
helix?
Let's go live now to.
Those Black Eyed Peas,
our-
future Hashi.
Right. I'm adding a helix. I'm going to make the height taller like that. I'm going to say the end angle is higher, so there's a little bit of this. Should this get wider at the top? Does it matter?
Why not? Yes.
Let's try that. Okay. So now I have a helix, and the helix can help influence a field force. I'm going to go to simulate forces, field force, and then I'm going to drag the helix into here. And right now it's set as an add to velocity. So if I turn that up, what it ought to be doing is it should be trying to move them in the direction of whatever part of the helix it gets close to, but that might not be really what we need. First of all, I'm going to go to the fields and tell that to also use the cylinder field. Okay, here we go. Maybe now I do need to give them a custom angular velocity. Okay, so now it's not super, super high yet, but there is some add to velocity spinning right here. What if I changed it to just change direction? Doesn't like that.
Doesn't.
No. Okay. Both change direction and set absolute velocity sort of override your sim because it's telling a bunch of your other properties of your sim you can't
How do you know that? Who
be
taught you
happy.
that? Who taught you that?
Trial and error taught me that.
Oh,
if
those
you
are the two
add,
coolest
if you have
guys at our
something that
company.
changes the direction, then or sets the absolute velocity of something, it means it's disregarding so many other parts of the physics. Then, okay, field force. What if
I still feel like that attractor needs to be
helix
moving around or
had-
something. Or like wiggling in intensity or something.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead to these attractors just for now, and we'll go simulation. No, we'll go
programming?
Animation tag, vibrate, enable position, just go up and down a bit.
Smart.
And their frequency can be a small number, but they can move up and down kind of like that. Okay, there we go. And then I'll copy this to both of these other ones by holding Control and dragging that.
Control
And then I'm going to go to
drag,
these
baby.
other two tag properties and change the seed on them so they're not wiggling on the same seed. So hopefully, let's see if you can see all three of them. They are, there's one down here, one here, and one there, and they're moving. Maybe they
way
could be
more.
moving a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Let's move this middle one up and down a little bit faster.
They just keep getting caught in that same middle one.
Yeah, they do. Actually, what is its strength comparatively? Okay, 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. Interesting. Okay, this one. That's very chaotic, but it's at least making it do some interesting things.
Something's wrong there.
It's interesting, right?
And then they
Okay,
just
so
stay
the
there.
helix-
There's no, like, they don't get, you need them to get loose. I kind of feel like the attractor was accomplishing something for us, but it's also destroying it.
Let me add this radial field to it then. Let's see, attractor type, instead of constant, what if it's inverse distance?
Nope.
Okay, now it's clearly too far away, but if I turn up the strength of this to something higher?
Save
Okay, so
yourselves,
inverse
boys.
distance is no fun. Inverse squared distance. Acceleration instead of a force.
Mr. Keyframes is wondering if you have any tips on how to get rid of jittering.
Well, Mr. Keyframes, first off, fantastic name, if I've not said so before.
Yes. He says it's not noticeable in this sim, but sometimes if you got like a bunch of trucks, you'll see some that jitter and pop.
Oh, boy.
Usually jitter and
Absolutely.
popping happens.
We know
from-
the problem
well, go
you're
ahead.
talking about. I don't know if we know the solution.
No, go for it, Michael. You like in theory we know the solution.
It depends on what's causing the jitter. Like if it's just bouncing between themselves and it can't resolve a point, that's you just need more sub steps. If they're jittering around because they need more damping, they need more damping. There's the reason it's jittering is going to change how you solve the problem. It's the answer to that is an answer to that question.
Yes.
More sub steps sometimes helps. More damping sometimes helps.
More geometry helps sometimes too.
Yeah. Less geometry sometimes. It's just kind of all dependent.
Well, what we're saying is,
It's stupid. All of it.
so
More like it's
just
complicated,
mess
all of it.
around. Everybody do the mess around. That's what John Candy was talking about when he was... Wait, he didn't make that song. He just sings it in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Anyway, you're welcome, Mr. Keyframes. We helped you. We did it.
Or you could be like Ian Hubert and lean into it. If you saw that future dystopian serial called like Jitteros or something like that.
I did not. That's brilliant.
Oh my God, it's phenomenal. Just like a sim of pouring all of the cereal into a thing and the samples are bad and so they're all just freaking out.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, I hate floundering. And I'm not even much a fan of the fish flounder.
You're a monster.
Okay, what if
I tell you what, I have an idea.
Does Hashi mean the actual fish or the one from Little Mermaid?
He means the Little Mermaid.
I mean the one from Little Mermaid.
The animated or the live action?
The hand-drawn animated.
Yeah, the superior one. Everyone knows 2D animation's better. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this with possibly some tornado fireworks. Stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're welcome. We're doing tornadoes and such. We've been trying to get these tornadoes flailing, these trucks flailing about in a nice suck zony way. And
so in a very quick test before the show, I was like, this will be easy. You just add a bunch of tags here. You throw in a little like field force that's got a helix and a tractor to bring them up to the top. And I have not once come close to recreating how pleasing this one is.
Do you have the tornado in there cached?
Let me see. No, I don't in here, but I have it.
I just want to show everybody, if you open up one of them, the SW ones, just run the tornado, put the truck in the air in front of it. Yeah, go to one of mine because I have the Redshift domes.
Oh, yeah,
or whatever.
Those all. Let's see.
It's just satisfying to see something that looks good when you've been struggling.
It actually does. Let's see. Was it probably
Tube down, Seth, SW, something.
Perfect.
I will say a soft body blows in the wind exactly the way I want it to blow, which is something that John Birmingham suggested in the chat, and it is behaving exactly like I want it to. I put the front nose just in the cone of the wind, and it immediately starts spinning the way you want it to spin. So
that's what soft body dynamics do.
We're thinking that's what it was. All right, I'm
soft body
do a quick
dynamics.
link of some assets.
Well, and the really good thing is, for something like that truck, it's got too much geometry to behave stiffly. So you would want to create the lowest possible poly cage around it and do the soft body dynamics on that and just move it with that soft body.
So you said soft body dynamics?
I did say.
Okay.
Yes, I did say soft body dynamics.
I went to relink to the asset inspector just to relink the textures, but I went to the parent folder instead of to the
oh no, so it's searching
subfolder where they are. So it's searching everything. Sorry. I mean, everything includes these. Oh, there it goes. All right. So look at this.
Just run it real quick and let's see what happens.
All right. Let's see. Let's go to this camera.
Oh, this is my camera that wouldn't work.
Oh, this camera didn't work.
Yeah. Also, run it a little bit so the tornado comes up. And then render it.
All right, good point. Let's turn off the IPR for a second.
I think the tornado might be turned off at the moment.
Pyro output.
There, and then the tag.
On cache. Tag. Enabled. Okay. So we can bring that back, and then...
I think it moves toward the truck, and we see the truck get sucked up. Let's see what happens.
You're right.
Starting at 100 frames, the tornado will move.
Great.
And then this is in our test. I was trying to rig a camera to the truck, but the truck is using a soft body mesh cage, and it was attached to a point, but I couldn't get the rotation to also parent. So that's where I stopped. But here it's about to hit the truck in the suck zone, and here it goes now. Or not. Never mind. Just render it now.
Heck yeah. See, there's our thumbnail.
It's just so satisfying to see.
It's so satisfying. at
All right.
this.
So
I was blown away when I was like, I'm not making very much progress on it, and then you were like, I was trying this thing earlier.
yeah, oh,
You
yeah.
had the preview on. I was like, dang it, so good. All
So
right,
real quick,
what were
let's
we
go over to my
planning on
screen. We're
moving
going to talk
on
about
to?
doing some fireworks inside a tornado, which I'm pretty sure they do in this trailer. If not, it's in another one. Let me see. It's in the other one. Hang on a second. Beep boop, seeps, more. Bing bong, bing bong.
Bing bong, bing bong.
Which trailer was it that we saw the fireworks? Maybe it wasn't this one.
I mean, they did do the fireworks in a trailer. I just don't remember which one. I didn't see too many of the trailers, so I was like, ooh, fun. Yeah, when I watched the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I know
here we
I
go.
used it as a. Oh, nice.
So we have this like internal, this illumination happening inside of it. These fireworks, which I don't actually know. How would we do fireworks in cinema? Have we done them before?
We might be able to make some emissive particles or something like that.
I bet Michael
That's all
knows,
you really
so-
need to have is have something shooting up and spewing particles out of it. You could have it be a single particle fired off that is emitting other particles. I believe there's a fireworks preset in the asset browser, by the way.
Speaking of fireworks,
What?
did everybody else enjoy the Andrew Kramer of tornadoes here in Twisters? I say that as a good close friend of Andrew and as a compliment because this man is beautiful. He reminded me of Kramer so much in this movie, and I don't know why. I've not told him that yet, so maybe
is
he's finding out
amazing.
right now.
That's clearly what we need to spend next week is just replacing his dialogue with Andrew's voice and putting his face in there.
He just rolls up to the tornadoes like, "Hey, what's up?" And
At every time he arrives on scene.
every time. Oh man. Okay.
All right.
Any White Black has a very good question. When doing fluid and soft body and rigid body dynamic sims, generally speaking, the rule is you should do them at the scale at which they look right. But something like a tornado is huge. Do you still do that sim to correct scale, or do you reduce the time scale? What do you do to get the tornado to work right? I mean, again, it's to whatever it works for your shot. If it works, it works.
Yeah, that's the philosophy I've always gone with is if it ends up in the right array of pixels, then it's fine.
I mean, initially, I would start at the right scale at a low voxel size, like at a large voxel size to see if it's remotely right. So then I would try smaller voxel sizes. Then when I got to where it was like roughly working, I'd cache it out and then upscale that sim, and that's how I would work. But if it wasn't working, then I would try it smaller. There's some times when doing your sim smaller and then changing the time scale as you suggested is the right answer. It just varies.
Exactly. Okay, I don't know if my audio will come through, but I know that I played this in jest earlier, but honestly, this is kind of cool.
This extraordinary take starts with a tornado in repose on
Look
the
at this
miniature
full
set of
take.
Gale Farm. Then all the mechanics are put into play and the storm envelops the house. This shot was deleted from the rough cut of the film. It was planned as the first scene.
She
of
goes into the
Dorothy's
behind-the-scenes
delirium.
politics of why it was cut and who was angry about it. It just becomes this weird
Like
rant.
that one shot that we love from the trailer with that truck in the foreground and all of the foreground.
Like this. It's because it's
like-
one wide view,
yeah.
getting to see all of. Yeah.
Like watch starting like right here-ish when they start getting the stuff into the foreground. This is one VFX test take of theirs. Look at the lighting. Look at it blowing through. This is insanity.
Nuts.
It looks really good.
The sky has been slid over to the complete storm sky. Oh yeah, this is the stuff I love. Those foreground sweeps that go through the model. And then finally, boom.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine you're making some adaptation of some kid's book, and then someone shows you this, when like literally no tornado has ever been filmed and been able to be shared with people around the world.
Oh, fascinating. I had never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people were
we didn't
like,
we didn't have viral videos.
this was the
back then.
traumatic, like, oh, that's what a tornado could be like. I'm terrified of it now.
Also, I'm
And
going
they
to
didn't,
die
like,
and all my
they didn't-
possessions are gone, so I will never get to tell this tale. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because a tornado
And
just
Michael
took
Halleck,
me.
the only reason that it sounds so sexy is because it's Angela Lansbury saying it. That woman is
A tornado in
treasure.
repose.
Angela
It was a
Lansbury.
perfect impression. More like
Goodness.
Angela. No, I don't know. Never mind.
No. So we were talking about how you could, in theory, go into here and go emitter. Let's just use some basic emitters like this. I'm going to take this, lay it down. Let me see if that's the correct direction for particles going out. Okay, cool. So that's spitting some particles out like that. And I could turn the, maybe the amount down. Let's go to, let's see, per second. Let's just do 8 per second. Okay, so there's like 1 there. There we go. So can we see those across the stream?
Yeah, we
The-
can see
the
them.
Particles there.
They're flying all about.
I mean, I
Can
guess
we
I could
make them
actually go to
directional?
their, I could do this. I could say, turn their radius up, and then on their particle group, go to the,
There we go.
say, draw the radius, so you can see them a little bit better, just for preview purposes.
This is a tornado farting underwater, just in case anyone's curious what we're making.
So right now, this whole particle group is reacting to the field force in here. Let me see, where would I tell it to ignore that? I could say, I mean, I do actually want it doing some of this stuff, but I don't want it to do, they're getting flung off to the side, I think, too much by this. Let me move my emitter over here so you can see. It should just be emitting them kind of in a straight direction like that. Let's shoot them toward the tornado. Oh no, they're just getting taken away by the field force wind. Where would I do that? I would go to, where says, oh,
Sorry,
shoot, yeah.
what are you trying
I'm
to
trying
do?
to eliminate.
You do it on the particle group, not the emitter.
That's what I thought, but what? Let's see. Oh, maybe I need to. I put the
No.
emitter inside
No.
the.
No.
No.
What are you trying?
You're
I,
right.
I,
trying to-
I wanted to eliminate the field force from affecting these particles right here. And I thought that it was when you're on the particle group, you could go over to like forces and say don't.
Don't.
Weird. Okay. Well, I clearly don't know enough about that. But I am going to go to my particle group and try reproduce, which will turn these more into fireworks. So they'll be shooting out these. Goodness. Okay, let's turn off the field force for a moment.
Spider-Man turned off the field force.
Heck yeah. That was one that we were trying to figure out if we could automate the nature of that joke.
Well, it would have to like change the text each time. They would have to know, which I think I can make happen. Actually, I know I can make happen. Not
All right.
during the show.
So here's the thing shooting out just a handful of particles. I'm going to turn it down even more. Then I'm going to go to the reproduce one, and it's going to say per particle. It's going to create new particles by properties. Let's see. I don't remember if I have to set it up. like this. New to the particle system, but working on it. I think we go simulate, condition. Do we want time condition? No, I just want a general condition under the particle group, and then reproduce is under that condition. And the condition, I can say property, age, if it is greater than or equals, 15 frames. And there's a 100% chance it will reproduce and create 13 new particles.
It's beautiful.
Per particle. And do it just once. Count. All right, what am I not doing here? Does a condition go under it? No. Property, age, lifetime? All right, Michael. I'm flailing at everything today. I'm emitting particles that I want to...
You want them to have the trails?
Yeah, I thought I said that if I had a condition that they reproduce after a certain, like if they've been around longer than 30 frames, they would explode. Is it how? Fine, I'll go to its properties. I'll make their life only. Yeah, I'll go to the initial particles and have them explode at a certain point. Okay, their lifetime can be, yeah, I want them to disappear around.
Why don't you just load up the preset and look through it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Is it in the asset browser? Or is it in the...
asset browser.
Okay. Play. We've got a whole simulation scene here. Boom. This is what I would do for fireworks in the future. So I would love the scene that Michael told me to
Fireworks
like
in the future. Sounds even cooler.
Now, keep in mind that there is a note in all these particle things. If you click on that note at the very top on the right, in your object manager, it would talk. It kind of talks you through some of the ways they managed to make this occur.
Huh.
So it helps. It kind of guides you as you look through it. There's some really neat examples here in the asset browser. My favorite one's the arrows one, but it's irrelevant to this particular scene.
But this is cool. It's we're emitting from this line right here. That's the basic emitter. And then under the particle group, we have a reproduce. And it's reproducing 3 per particle. I don't entirely know why, but and then it also has an age condition greater than or equals. Man, I feel like I did something so similar to this.
Let's put him in the tornado. We've got 17 minutes.
Let's put them in the tornado.
We are so close.
17 minutes. All right, so let's grab simulation, forces, field force. And in this field force, we're going to add a radial field, and we're going to add a cylinder field so we can. Oops. Okay. Fireworks are this big. This field has got to be like this big. Okay. And inside this field is the radial field. We're set to add to velocity. Let's see if I turn the strength up. If anything happens, I might need to move this whole field force inside this simulation scene. Okay, and what would happen if this field right here in the middle? I don't think those are rotating because of mine yet, right? Change direction. Oh.
Okay.
Oops.
Whoa.
Okay, field force. The cylinder. Let's move it over this direction. Oh,
What?
so my radial field and my cylinder should be in the same place if possible.
Oh, so Hashi, sorry, I forgot to tell you how you can do it. What you're wanting.
I forgot to tell you how to do exactly how to do exactly.
Sorry,
what-
I get distracted looking at the chat. So basically, if you want particles to emit when they die, you could set what you would do is you set the condition to move them into a different group, and then that group, at a certain point. Basically, you have a condition set to move into a different group. So condition, change group. And then in that group that you then scooch them into that new particle group, you put the reproduce emitter under that particle group, and then a kill thing, lifetime to 0 right after. Or on the reproduce, I think you can just tick kill source particle. But either way, that's a very quick way to make it just burst happen as soon as particles die. You just say, hey, at blah, blah amount of time, move them to this new group, and then in that new group, you reproduce and kill simultaneously. But make sure reproduce comes before the kill.
Reproduce and Kill is the name of our next show.
And it was Darwin's original title for this book.
I also think the chaos of the direction that they're going, the fact, I guess actually this is going to work just fine, but I feel like they don't need to curve so much.
Yeah, they're curving a little much. Mr. Keyframes is saying, what's more stable as a career, Houdini or nuke artist? I mean, neither one. It's like they're both, like, it depends on what you're looking to do. They're both very different careers. Yeah. Houdini is doing a lot of like high-end, full-scale like simulation stuff, and nuke is compositing.
Yeah, do you want to composite or do you want to do simulations? That's really the big question.
Yeah, do you want to be a technical director or do you want to be a compositor? Like, they're very different things. Or a technical director or a simulation guy or gal. But
hang on, let's ask one guy. I know a guy who might have an answer to this question. What do you think?
I mean, the answer
Andrew?
is, I would say just.
He's not responding to us.
On one.
Oh.
I would say just get max on one, and then you can have super comp in After Effects, which is like Nuke in that you get node-based compositing, but without you having to fuss with the nodes, and you get Cinema 4D for a lot of the basic simulation stuff you can now do. As it's similar. Cinema 4D simulation stuff has come a long way in the just past couple of years. So just do all at once. Just do both of the things, and it'd be great. No, but as a career, man, just find what you like doing and start doing it. Don't worry about if you're working on it as a career. If your goal is to get a career, neither one. There is careers that are way easier that pay way more money. But if you're looking to do something that you love, do whatever it is you love.
You heard it here first.
Darby Center's asking, has Andrew seen this show? Andrew is personal friends with several of us, if not all of us.
What?
Who said super? I mean,
okay.
I said super comp way earlier.
I think it's processing stuff really slowly right now.
Oh no.
Not super comp isn't. We are. The OBS is.
We did it?
Okay, it's sticking to it.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent.
We are T-minus 12 minutes away from the end of the show.
Goodness. And end of an era. Goodness sake.
Of an era.
Why?
I mean, here's the thing. Do we feel like we have gotten to you can keep working on that, Hash. Do you feel like we are at a place where we have conquered the tornado? Let's go around the room. I'm going to ask each of us to answer. Hashi, do you think we've conquered the tornado?
No.
Michael, do you think we've conquered the tornado?
No, but I think we've shown some very good first steps and some solutions to problems people are into.
These 2 episodes are really just foreshadowing for
next week when we're going to nail it.
Season of madness.
What if the whole season we committed to just tornadoes only?
Can we commit to season 5 as when we conquer the tornado? It's going to happen in this. We're going to defeat this smoke monster. This season.
We're gonna do regular tornado check-ins throughout the season, and we're not going to anymore because I just said it.
Yeah.
But
I like that Jason Murphy's like, wait, people get paid for this stuff? Yes, Jason Murphy.
Sorry, no one was supposed to tell you, Jason.
He's worked on all these things, but no one's paid him this whole time. And to answer your question, Mr. Keyframes, if you're familiar with Cinema 4D, just get better at it, and you can do a lot of the things. I was on my previous full-time job. I was on the edge of I had started learning Houdini because I was just bumping up against limitations of Cinema 4D, and then Cinema 4D introduced fields, and that removed all the limitations for the MoGraph stuff that I was needing to do. Fields, especially now as they've built it more and more and more. So where it drives everything in Cinema 4D, you can do so much super complicated stuff. That with the new core and the new viewport tech, in Cinema 4D, so that it actually runs with a lot more objects a lot faster. Like Cinema 4D in the past 5 years has really grown in what it's able to do on a large scale and for really complex MoGraph things. So for the MoGraph stuff, Cinema 4D is still the tool I would use for most of the things. Now, if you're looking to get into high-end visual effects simulation stuff, obviously you might want to add something on. But I know a lot of folks who jump in and out of After Effects, Cinema, and other tools. Like, just use whatever works for what it is that you are doing. It doesn't matter what your friends say. It matters what it is that you want to do for your career.
I love
Michael,
that. Precisely.
Brilliant. I'm going to give you a...
Damn it, Michael!
For wisdom. This is a season of natural disasters, Dixner. That's correct. We are all natural disasters, and we're here, and we're excited to be here. We've got 9 minutes left on the clock. Hashi, what the hell's going on?
I have stopped screen sharing. I feel...
Oh.
I think that we are at a point where I won't accomplish anything spectacular in the next 9 minutes.
Hashi, you are something spectacular. You already did.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody, I want to thank you all for tuning into the show this week. What can we wrap up with? Is there anything you guys want to hype? Michael, you just did talk about a lot of new things, but is there anything else we want to talk about?
Goodness, I don't.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I want to say thank you for that sweet video you made for me at the beginning of the episode. If you came in late,
I put the non-joke version of it, meaning the without Angela Lansbury, in the renders folder for the week. If you
I will
want.
recognize none of them except for that one. That's the one to me.
Perfect.
But for real, everybody, please, if you want, you can go back and see a very sweet, touching video that Hashi surprised me with today at the beginning of the episode to see what a wonderful man Hashi is, what a wonderful man Michael is, how blessed I am as a person to get to work with both of them. And everyone here in the chat. Darren is back. Suck drop. Hey, everyone.
Hey, if you want to see a tumbling thing, you can switch over to my screen real quick. I put the tumbling thing in there just for something fun to close the show on.
Hey,
it works.
A little tumbling block. He did it.
See?
Oh, man. We created it.
See, this is what I was always doing in math class back when they had those little plastic blocks of so you could do your times 10 tables, whatever.
Yes, 100%.
People remember that? There was there was the individual squares and then the lines that were the whole 10, and then you'd fill up the whole thing.
Yep.
So fun.
Andrew Kramer just responded to me saying, "I'm dying." I sent him the image, so we killed him. We killed Andrew Kramer, and I'm sorry, everyone.
Excellent. We finally did it.
Oh, hey, Mr. Keyframes, we do have student pricing. There is student pricing. It's right there. Let me get you a link to it real
Michael's
quick.
going to share it. Everybody, please, for the love of God, have a wonderful week. We'll see you back here next week. Right? Next week we're here.
Next week. We'll see you then.
All right. Bye, everybody.